Hello everyone, welcome to an extra special episode. There will be a song at the end. This one is in honor of my Dungeons & Dragons Dungeon Master and fellow party members, because we had to cancel for today, and I wanted to share some of the songs that I wrote for my character. So I thought I would give a little bit more background on the character and then do the song at the end. Just one of the songs for this video, but I have more that I'm planning to share in the future. So his name is Keilah. He's actually a character I came up with years ago for a novel idea that I've been mulling around, so he's a pretty deep character, and when my D&D character got killed a while ago, a couple weeks ago I should say, I decided to use this character as an inspiration for my new D&D character. In the original, he's a human with a sailor background, and he had strawberry blonde hair, a little bit of a temper, but not much. He's pretty young, and most of his fighting is because he's expected to brawl with the people he hangs around with. But he really likes to collect stories from the places he's been and songs from his crewmates, and sometimes they write the songs together, like each calling out a line, and then they all call out a similar line, just however it comes about. They sing while they work. And he only shares stories that he believes to be true, except for the story of his own life, because he had a really sad life, and he wishes it had been different, so he tells a happier version of his childhood. And that's the only story he lies about. So for the D&D campaign, I wanted to keep certain elements, but I also wanted it to fit better into the D&D world, as well as fit better into what I think the party will like better. I always imagined he'd be able to punch things, like that would be his main method of fighting because of all the brawling he did, so I really wanted to keep the sailor background, but I also wanted him to be a monk so he can do hand combat. Well, I decided instead of making him human, I would make him a wood elf because I really like the perks of an elf, and because it works well as having a monk, a wood elf, which I realize is probably overused because it's so good of a match, but I don't care. It's my first time having either a wood elf or a monk. It's not my first time as an elf, but wood elf, which I think is going to be fun too. Well, I made him have coppery red hair because wood elves don't have the same shades of red from what I was reading. And I gave him a little bit of a different background, so he was raised in a monastery instead of being on a ship from the time he was a child. But I did still talk to the DM and was able to get the sailor background for him. So after being raised by the monks, he was sent to help be a protector on the ships for hire, the merchant ships. So he still has the temper, but I haven't played him much, but I'm thinking it might even be a hotter temper in the D&D campaign than in the original story, because in the original story, like I said, he does it because he's expected to brawl, but in the D&D campaign, it's more of a, what, my name sounds like a girl name to you? Punch, and then, whoops, I probably shouldn't have done that type of really hot, fast temper. That's how I'm imagining it. We'll see how it plays out. I also wanted to keep the stories and songs part of his character, so I wanted to share the songs. Like I said, the songs that I wrote for his character, I wanted to make videos so that my fellow party members can hear what they sound like. Not all of them have tunes, be warned, but also for the story part, I imagine he stretches the truth for all the stories he tells in the campaign because he wants to make them all a really good story rather than just like lying about his own past. He just doesn't talk about his own past and just shares really stretched out versions of other people's stories. We'll see how it actually plays out, but I was hoping that sharing this would be a little bit of in honor of the D&D campaign we couldn't play today. And I hope you enjoy this song that he sings. This is one that I imagined was supplied by various sailors on the ship, but then the repeating line is one that they all sing together. And I imagine that the sailors kind of use their own life story to influence the lines that they say, so there are like lots of different stories embedded into it, even though it's not very clear what the stories are. I just thought that made it more realistic. But I hope you enjoy one of Keilah's sea shanties. Knowing, praying, going, staying, the life of a sailor for me. Keeping, losing, weeping, choosing, the life of a sailor for me. Meeting, kissing, beating, missing, the life of a sailor for me. Charming, breaking, harming, taking, the life of a sailor for me. Yay, the life of a sailor for me. Yay, the life of a sailor for me. Sighing, shoving, lying, loving, the life of a sailor for me. Sweating, bleeding, getting, needing, the life of a sailor for me. Working, shaking, shirking, making, the life of a sailor for me. Drinking, thirsting, thinking, cursing, the life of a sailor for me. Yay, the life of a sailor for me. Yay, the life of a sailor for me. Plundering, sailing, blundering, wailing, the life of a sailor for me. Getting, waiting, letting, hating, the life of a sailor for me. Ripping, raging, slipping, waging, the life of a sailor for me. Righting, wronging, fighting, longing, the life of a sailor for me. Yay, the life of a sailor for me. Yay, the life of a sailor for me. Dealing, dropping, stealing, stopping, the life of a sailor for me. Lifting, heaving, shifting, leaving, the life of a sailor for me. Buying, selling, crying, telling, the life of a sailor for me. Living, dying, giving, trying, the life of a sailor for me. Yay, the life of a sailor for me. Yay, the life of a sailor for me.